Well, you didn't think I was actually going to get naked, did you? God, I mean, what were you thinking? Just because I did some crazy shit last week, I ain't going to do it this week. G'day, guys, we're here. I've got a camera in a different place. I don't like it. It shows my rotten teeth, and I don't like that. So I'm going back to showing you my hat, because my hat is iconic. Yes, there we go. No, I can't touch something. G'day, guys. I thought I'd have a bit of a laugh. It takes a little while for everybody to actually come in here, so I thought, let's do some entertaining. So that was entertainment for you. You're right, Tina. You do not want to see me naked. But I thought, well, the glove is it's all about the glove, isn't it? Where is the glove? It's right here, right here. Well, another week. Oh, what a good review last week. Those tools worked out so well. Right, well, there's lots of people tick, 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 all coming in. And what am I going to talk about? I haven't got a bloody clue. Well, actually, I do. The review, the knives, worked bloody perfectly. Really, really happy. The Beavercraft. Yeah. The competition all over my bloody covering paper. Oh, that green, oh, sort of sticks in the throat a bit, doesn't it? Well, it is to draw attention, because now we're down to the last 10 days. We have a little surprise. Having chatted to the reps of Beavercraft, another prize. We have a single knife to add. So we have the prize with the g'day, Maggie. We've got the major prize, which is the spoon set case, the roll, the compound, the piece of leather, and the big turny knife. One of those is going in with the prize, so that's really, really good. Really, really happy to see that. Just to say, I'm not going to do it because I'm gloveless now. Where is the glove? But I put it in here, and then I go round and around, and I go from side to side, and I chip and I chip and I chip, and I make oil, a big oil. I can stick my finger in the oil, but then what do I do with it afterwards? Sorry for all you French people, I can't help slipping into stupid accents. Not that French is stupid accent, I quite like the French accent, which is why I use it so often. Okay then, well, excuse me. Yes, so Beavercraft have generously donated the first prize of the big set. Then, Margie, you made it, woohoo! And you guys are sweating well, you're quite warm. Yes, so they've donated the the knife set within the roll, and they've donated a runner-up prize of a spoon knife and a Sloyd knife, and we have one more knife to add to the collection. The third runner-up prize. Yeah, we got 3 prizes. Yay! How well did they do for us? Done very well. You'll find in the file that there are a couple of 5% discounts, and if you go through Etsy, there's a 10%. G'day, Josh. There's a 10% discount if you go through Etsy, which I understand is quite cheap for you Northern Hemispheres. Just one of those statements. Those links are there. Not everybody's going to win. The knives are reasonable, certainly for beginners. If you're into doing spoons, then they're a good set. I was really quite surprised. G'day, Michael. Brad, you made it! Yay! So yes, so we got the spoon knife and the Sloyd knife as the second runner-up, or as the runner-up prize, and now there's a single knife, which will be a choice of one of 3 knives, which when the winners are announced, I'll contact the people that have won, and I will show you the 3 knives. The 3 knives will be added to the file, the competition file, and we're going to have 3 lucky winners. It does take 2 to 3 weeks for the stuff to actually arrive, so it's a bit slow mail, but in 3 weeks time, well, 4 weeks time, we will have somebody going, yay, my knives turned up, I won some knives from a group. Yeah, look, it's taking over a little bit, having to do a lot of stuff. G'day, Dale. It's taking over one aspect of the group which we're working on. You may have seen me bomb the feed this week with all the challenges. That's because I was moving them from one area of storage into another area of storage with the limited aspects that Facebook give us, and discovered units, so units of learning. So the challenges are now all in there, and there's, I think, 6 extras been added, 5 or 6 extras. There will be more as we progress. And the units, really easy to find. You just click on them, click on the link, bang, you're in the folder with all of the stuff. The comments, I'm slowly turning off a lot of the comments in those challenges, because eventually, g'day Terry, eventually, Eddie made it. You got coffee, mate. I don't mean the milk that adds to it, not just coffee. Talking of coffee, don't want mine to get cold, do I? Oh, well, hopefully today you had far more warning that the live was happening, and you liked the countdown. I didn't. Ness is here. G'day, Nessie. So, yes, coffee. Tammy, well done with your chain. That video is really, really good, really informative. I don't know about snapping them. I would make sure that one tries to cut as much of the meat as possible, because you would hate to get that far and then try and snap them, snap the little bit between the chains. So that's a really, really, really good video. Yeah, you're doing very well on there. Tammy's also in the process of making a file up to go along with it. So there'll be links to her video through the file. I believe she's doing it through YouTube, which is useful. And if not, I'll give her a hand. Oh, you've got to go back to work. Sorry to hear that, Andy. Andrew, we will catch up with you later. Yep, you will. This will still be here. You'll find it in the video section, in what used to be Blockbusters. Should have taken Brett's advice and gone to the toilet, but I didn't. So yes, we've got Tammy's doing the video to help people do the chain. I should probably take note of that, as I broke 3 bad choices of wood. Didn't have basswood, didn't have access to the woods that I have access to now. So, oh, well done, Brad. You finally made it. Well, you're lucky because you get to see me whenever you like, but I only do this once. So Tammy's doing that. We've got some units. challenges, which added to. Yes, the commenting. What I intend to do with commenting is I will find out the resources, the videos that are on YouTube. I'll list all of them in the comments. You can still comment on people's photographs that that are uploaded, even though the commenting is turned off. You can still tell the person how great and wonderful their challenge was. So that isn't switched off in the process. But the actual comments, for the time being, I'm trying something out. I've done the if you look at the spoon challenge, it's messy because I haven't got round to getting back in there and tidying up. But if you look at the spoon challenge, you'll see that the comments are turned off, and there is a wealth of information about finishing your spoons, mineral oils, beeswax, how to make beeswax. Well, not beeswax, but the beeswax butter, as they call it, and the spoon butter. That's all there. Oh yeah, lots of people like coffee. So yes, that's all in the bottom of the spoon file, and I intend to do the same with the other the other ones. I am going through and I am grabbing your pictures and I'm moving them over into the folder, the ones that are in the comments first. So if anybody objects to the fact that they've got my name on them, I tag the person who they belong to, but I can only do so much with what's given. Trying to find that elusive add button or upload button is quite difficult. I think it's funny how the background changes from light green to dark green. It's got something to do with the amount of light that I'm blocking, I guess. But oh well, tough. Now, so the challenge, the brilliant. I've found finding those units very, very helpful, and it makes it so much easier. They're stacked in pretty much order of hardness, so some of them are equally hard. Was talking to Tammy during the week, and she was a bit worried about the chain challenge, and because I stuffed up a couple of times, she thought it was going to be hard, and I said no, it's easier. It's easier than the ball challenge. So pulled in the cage challenge, which she managed fourfold. Well done, Tammy. Look, we've the new moderators. They're working in so well. They're fitting in so well. John and Nay are on the feed as usual, chatting to you, doing their little people. Well, Nay's doing his little people, and he started to turn heads, which isn't so easy when you're doing little people. So bloody good job there. So they're working out quite well. We're currently doing a wood information gathering deal. As you can see, I've got my little heads and things that I posted last night. Somebody said, "Oh, the feed's a bit dead." So I'm working on some more of the woods. I think at the moment with those 4, there's about 44 I've got, but I seem to have, I don't know, misplaced 4 or 5. I'm not sure what I've done with them. So I will have to go through and find that. Oh yes, yeah. Someone needs to do a video on the Tin Man. Yeah, I know. My Tin Men. I've got the 2. I can do that. That's the balsa wood one. Didn't like him at all, but of course that's the Tin Man challenge. I did it out of balsa wood because at the time it was either pine, gum, or I had some balsa, so I chose to go to the balsa wood. Now that's a piece of shit. Sorry, that's not very good. And then of course, I decided to really be different during the Tin Man challenge, so I did my Tin Man. So this will be something that I can do. I can do the tutorial on that. I'll do another one. Got a star spinning in the background. I can do a tutorial on that, or maybe we can even get Pete. I know he's busy at the moment doing some other stuff, but there's he's busy doing some really nice, important stuff. We're working on the concept of the t-shirts, or t-shirt for the time being, so that I can wear a BWC live. Well, not the live, but I can do the BWC thing. Here is the news. This BWC. In England, it was the BBC, but there you go. Yes, we got to get Nay to do a tutorial on the little people. He doesn't want to do videos, but that's okay. G'day, Brian. That's all right. Everybody comes and goes. William, thank you for the comment on my on a nice collection of carvings. I have not sold anything. I give away a few things, but not many. Yeah, I'm working on the woods chart. All of these pieces of wood that are behind me, all of these are different woods. Every one of them is a different species. I'm lucky because Otto's timber yard here in South Australia, we're very lucky actually in one way, because we have six or seven cities in Australia, not very big ones. G'day, Ed. We've got 6 or 7 cities in Australia, and they're a distance away from each other. I mean, Melbourne is it's about 500 miles from here to Melbourne, which is our closest next city. Now, because we've got so far between cities, we don't have much in the way of, when we do get a shop, they cover most of it. It's like they specialize for the whole of the area, the whole city. Our city is 1.5 million people, so it's not a really big place. Good place to bring up children. God's waiting room, as I call it, because not much happens here except for the fruit bats that turned up last night and the flying foxes that we had in the up in the trees. My daughter said, "Sounds like an animal's being killed out there." So we went looking and couldn't find them. And then suddenly we're seeing bats with wingspans like wider than the screen. Yes. And they were squealing all night. And it's quite gleeful to have flying foxes / fruit bats hanging from our tree. I haven't had them visit before, or not that I've heard them. So that was pretty sweet. Pretty hard to see them, mind you. And but we did. And it was nice, and we loved it. So yes, we're collecting woods. If you have worked on some woods, if you can write down 1 or 2 lines, like the grain was quite, it was long grain, oak. It was really close grained, basswood. I enjoyed carving it. It was easy to carve. It was hard to carve. My knives slipped off. I had to maintain them and keep them sharp all the time. If you could just jot down, there's a thing called Topics Wood. If you put it in the search bar, it will come up with the conversation that's going on it. I could do with your help by building a BWC wood chart. It's going to have a carvability rating from like basically 1 to 15. They're really hard power tools. Chisels and mallets sort of thing. They'll be up in the 15. There you'll have your pink ivory and your gum from here. You'll have ebony and stuff, which will be close to the 15 mark. I'm sure that there's a few up. I will be talking about the Janka test, or the anchor test, whichever way it's pronounced. I don't know. J's are a bit hard, but sometimes they're pronounced like G's, and sometimes they're pronounced like they're a silent G, and then sometimes they're really. But anyway, the anchor test. Until I'm corrected on that one, I'm going to just call it the anchor test. I will explain that. It's a 12 millimeter, nearly a ½ inch steel ball that is fired through air pressure into the side of the wood, and the ball bearing has to be half the depth of the ball, so it has to travel in a 1/4 of an inch into the side of the wood. Now, that the pounds per square inch, the pressure that forces that steel ball to fire into the side of the wood, it's a hardwood testing system that they used for, flooring, because they want wood to be hard wearing and, sorry, I'll keep going out. The wood, they want the testing has to see how durable the wood is for a floor. Or whether or not it's going to last a while. So yeah, they fire a steel ball in. Now it starts to get a bit complicated because a global group We don't have global basics when it comes to measuring systems. The States is still imperial, which is really weird. You shun so much of your heritage that it seems weird that you would keep hold of a fractional system. I suppose if you're just dividing something up, fractions aren't bad, halves, quarters, thirds, and such. But when you start adding up all of the fractional things, I haven't done fractions since I was a kid. The metric system for me has kind of, I've adopted the metric system. I know the imperial system, but I've adopted the metric system. But it comes down to, even with the anchor test, it becomes very difficult because you guys measure it in pounds, pounds per square inch, LBS, as to the firing of that steel ball into the side of the wood. Now, in Australia, we use newtons, and kilonewtons, which something that has a rating of 8.6, 8,600 pounds per square inch. So that's above pine, below oak. That's an 8.6, and that's really easy to a scale of how hard or how soft a timber is, how much give it's got. So I will be writing up the pounds per square inch, but I'll also be writing up the newtons and the kilonewtons. I'll do the full explanation. Wikipedia has got a lovely explanation of the anchor test. It's difficult. That we do have a file that's a spreadsheet, and we do have a file that has links to the wood database. With the woods, what I will be doing is there'll be a file, video, a whole range of different ways of imparting the information, but we're starting off with Gelatong and basswood. There's 20 pounds difference. Gelatong is 20 pounds lighter to force that steel bearing. I found out that Gelatong, a lot of the rubber is used in chewing gum. I didn't know that. It's amazing what you learn when you're reading things up, especially on woods. So at the moment, I'm really focusing on getting a comprehensive BWC culpability grading system for some of the woods. So that I need your help. If you've worked with basswood and you maybe worked with pine, then you have number 1 to number 5. If you've worked with pine to oak, well, then you've got from 5 to 10. If you've worked oak right the way up to pink ivory, then you're looking at the teens. And we'll work that out so that it ties in with the original system, the anchor test, the pounds per square inch, and the newtons and the kilonewtons. Oh, and I'll have all of my faces of the 38, 40 that I've got at the moment. They're not. I put Danish oil on them last night, partly because my Danish oil has corrupted the lid and it is starting to thicken in the tin. I hate that. You go out and you spend $30 on a tin of finishing material, and as soon as you open it, it's compromised within weeks and months. And yeah, you can change them to mason jars and make sure that they're sealed and grade them down as you use them. But it's very frustrating to pay so much for a finishing item and only for it to go hard in the tin. So even though I haven't actually finished the faces, I was thinking I would do another layer of refinement and finishing on them so that any cut marks would disappear. I do a little bit of sanding, a little bit of filing, get them, just tweak them up. But because I've got 40 of them, I am not overly worried about that. As long as I have the basis as a face, it really gives me coverage. I think we've all found that hardness doesn't always correlate with no, that's right. Carvability is a lot of this wood is carvable, or everything is done. Power just ignores the grain. The difference between working on gum with power and a piece of pine with power is the pine just disappears. If I use it on basswood, g'day Michael. If you use power on basswood, it's so quick that you don't even realise, oh, what happened to my wood? Now, of course, you do that with a knife, and it's a whole different deal. So The other thing that is a little bit confusing is greenwood versus dried kiln, or greenwood, dried wood, and kiln dried wood. Now, everything I get is kiln dried because I'm buying it from a timber yard. So I don't get the carvability of, like, I've heard people say, oh, walnut, that's not that hard to carve. Green, it's really nice, but when it's been kiln dried, take a run up, slide off, take another run up, slide off. Walnut becomes quite hard to carve. And then, of course, I'm reading lots of comments of other people where their understanding of the woods. So I'm trying to get it so that the main reason I'm doing the wood chart is so that I can relate to when somebody says, oh, I'm working on this material or that material. So I know I can then say, hey, look, this is better, this is not, this is more carvable, this is not. Well, there's a lot of woods out there. I would imagine that my chart will end up being, I don't know, between 100 and 150 faces at the end. But of course, I've got to source those woods, and we do have a I don't know, 50 or 60 in Otto's. I love Nathan Otto, is the guy that I talk to at Otto's Timber. If they ship worldwide, pretty much. So if you're stuck getting any, get in touch with Otto's Timber Yard. I can link you up with Nathan Otto, and it'll cost, I would imagine, but shipping, depending on where you are. But if you're in Australia and you can't locate it, get in touch with me and I'll put you in touch with my guy. Right. Any questions? I'm burbling on. I've chewed up 26 minutes. I've got about 34 to go. Last week did reveal some things, like how stupid I can be when the Blues Brothers music comes on. I said to somebody today, I'm not sure what I'm going to talk about. They said, well, worst case scenario, do a sing and a dance routine like you did last week. Okay. Last week was just crazy. I'm not going to follow that up very often, although when you see the beginning of this, if you haven't seen it, it's just as stupid, but in a different way. Yeah, so I'll need your input with regards to that. So if you put into the search bar of our group topic wood, up it will come. So you'll be able to write your little bit on there, and I'll be able to correlate that. And I'm going through the feed because our feed is 3 years old. I would like to see a BWC embroidered patch. Yeah, well, that's coming. The t-shirts are coming. We've got so much in store. I don't really wish to talk about my blues and my bipolar again. But now that I'm not in the blues section, I'm busy at it. I've been constant this last 2 weeks. 2 weeks I have just not stopped. All the files hitting the feed while you guys were sleeping meant that you wouldn't be inundated during your day with me posting stuff that I'm moving and affecting and tidying up and renewing. And but yes, the challenge is we're broadening those aspects. I want to broaden some of the files. No blues, my friend, no blues at all. Good to see you, Tony. No. In fact, it's but in my life, a lot of people go, I can't handle that. You go from being, you can't do anything, to there's nothing you can't do. Well, I live in that, and it's really quite difficult to suddenly go from doing nothing or having difficulty doing things to non-stop. But I live with it and I love it, and I've got BWC, which means I've got a field to play in. It's a real shame. This week I had to remove in excess of about 60 people from the group, all blocked, all either dead accounts. They've come in and their accounts have been deactivated, and their names come up in black rather than for me blue. So the rules are in here. There's no blocking because we can't police properly. We can't if people aren't seeing us, but we can't communicate with those people. So I can't say to them, "Hey, look, I know you blocked me, but can you unblock me?" Because the rule, once they block me, I can't talk to them. So there is only one course of action for me, and that's remove them from the group. I won't have anybody in here that won't accept that. Yeah, it can be annoying with all of the bombing that I did this week, but there was a reason for it, and it betters the group. But yeah, 50, 60 people. Work so hard to get people to come into the group, only to kick them out because they decide that they don't want to see us. They don't want to see the g'day Gail. They don't want to g'day Sharon. Yeah, they come in and what they want to just use the feed, access the information and stuff. No, you're going to tell me about the hot glue gun. I have a question about it. Okay, what's your question, Corey, about the hot glue gun? Takes a while for people to Corey will get there. Oh, I managed to get a shave in before the live. As you can see, I'm baby bottom smooth. My face is smoother than the inside of a spoon. Yeah. Well, I try to, Tina. I work hard to get people in. The last thing I want to do is kick people out. I mean, yeah, if you're being unruly and g'day Gail, if people are being unruly and bullying and nasty and crap comments, then I'm not gonna hesitate these days. I've argued with people. I've been reasonable. I've tried to g'day David. I've tried to negotiate with people, and it just doesn't work. So I take a different tact. If somebody's got history. If somebody's got history in the group, then I'll negotiate. But if somebody has no history at all and comes in and starts crapping on other people, I'm just not going to put up with it. If people break the rules, what I generally do is I remove them from the group, but I don't block them, so they do have the opportunity to come in back in. G'day, David. All the moving and stuff happening. Yes, so unfortunately I do have to remove people from time to time, and so do the mods. That's what they're there for. I've got a great crew now. They've got a few busy things coming up. I'm squeezing the mods to better the experience of BWC, and I've got the right crew. I definitely have. They're all bloody good buggers. Some of them are you'll find on the feed nearly all of the time, because manning the feed, running a group like this with a growing lot, we try, but not going to do negative comments. No, we don't do negative comments. It's positive. Good luck with the move, David. I know that's a big upheaval for you, but we look forward to you producing more works of art, because we just love them. Yes, we try not to do negative comments if possible. There's always a way of positively encouraging somebody's work. It may not, if you don't like it, then don't comment on it. We have an array of new beginners that are coming forward, and that is what we're here for. I find that my carving gets better because a new to carving person reminds me of what it was to start, and how much I knew and how little I knew, and having access to people that can assist me is brilliant. It's like asking for your help with the woods, and I know that you guys will come through on that, because the group is a bloody good group. It's full of bloody good people, and I know I say bloody a lot, but I'm Australian. We do that. Getting the work done, positive. I'm going up to a woodcarvers roundup next week, 4 days of carving workshop. I'm so excited to have. Hope to learn a lot. You will learn a lot from it. This is the best thing that we can do with regards to assisting people. Yes, we can. I can come live if somebody has a particular question. I can I can go live. I can show you. Do you think the hot glue to hold my piece I'm dremeling if I clamp it down on my table? Look, okay, let me show you. On the back of this silver maple, silver wattle, thank you, Ness. Okay. Now I'm just about to do it, Tony. Now, on the back of this piece of wood, I have put a little bit of glue, just a line underneath that piece of wood. Now, if I'll show you. Okay, ready? That's just hot glue. Now, if I want that off, I just have to put a chisel underneath it or a knife underneath it. That holds really well. So just a little bit of you only need like a line, the thickness of the glue gun down the back, and that will hold. And I use that to clamp these into the vise so that I can hit them with a mallet. Well, not that with the mallet, because one, I don't have a mallet. I have to use a piece of, I use different size logs. My plumb comes in handy for that. This stuff, brilliant. It was told to me by a turner who basically turns when he does the bowl, and he's got, he doesn't want holes in the bowl to hold it on the stock head. He uses a bit of glue gun. You're so vain. No, wrong sort of vain. Okay, yes, so the glue gun holds your piece of wood on there like you saw. I tried to pull it off, couldn't. So the hot glue gun works really well. This has been a great group to join. Most are so polarized to one type of work and forget we all learn different and just want to grow as carvers in general. Sharing information goes a long way for all of us to grow together. You got it. What monkey see, monkey do. No offense, not saying you're monkeys, but we learn by seeing. If you have problems, then question. And the group is so good. I'm astounded. I sit back and during my blues, I thought, oh, it's too hard. I'm going to give it away. G'day, Jerry. Oh, you poor bugger. I hope you get well soon. Absolutely so. Now, okay, so the people in the group, fantastic group. When I was blue, I thought, oh, I didn't want to hurt the group. I didn't know how to maintain keeping everybody happy and interested and entertained. I mean, the reason why I do this is as much entertainment as it is information. A group needs to have a certain amount of dynamics, and the video side of things is where we get our a lot of the dynamics happening, the energy poured into the group. And look, I'm not a religious man, but if I was, I would thank God every day for what I have with the group. Access to all the information. I'm learning to be a much better carver thanks to you guys, because I sit here and I go, I don't know how to do that, and then I look and I find somebody that is able to do it, and I'm able to ask. I do a lot of research on the internet. I know a lot of theory. I get to a point where theory and experience are needed, and that's why working on all the different woods, I always do that longhand. That's why working on all the different woods, I'm getting the experiences of all those different woods. But it's also, it's amazing. I found a little trick that when I work on, say, a piece of oak, very slow going, I don't like working on oak with a knife. It's just, it's too hard. Let me look. That one there and that one there. Okay. That one is Australian oak. Right? It's fairly hard to carve, but I sort of stuffed up on the eyes. Not really happy with the eyes, got more to do. Intend to put resin eyes in that one. That one there is American oak. So they're both oaks, but of course, grown in different areas, different parts of the tree. Both of them are carvable, but when I work on something like this, and then I go back to basswood, or I go back to poplar, camphor, laurel, sweet pine, easy woods. When I go over to those, after I've just worked on a piece of oak, it's just amazing. Like it's like my carving skill leaps forward. What I've learned on that hardwood to get the features. G'day, Pete. when I've been working on the hardwood and then I drop back to the softwood, it's just like I know exactly what I'm doing. I know what to remove. It just goes so easy. So if you're struggling with carving, have a go. G'day, Pete. If you're struggling with carving, have a go on a harder piece of wood. I don't expect everybody to do so many different types of wood. I mean, I'm doing it because admin group helps me, helps you. I end up with a wood chart, which will move us forward. There are some things I've got in the wind that will benefit the group in the long term. I don't intend to stop doing this. Yeah, I might go through a blue patch again next year, but that's next year. And for the time being, I'm just going to put my shoulders underneath the yoke and I'm going to carry it as far forward as possible. We're cleaning up files. You'll have better information, easily found. We're working on a directory, so the navigation inside the information that we have in the group is growing, and it's getting easier. Takes time. That was an unusual thing. The nose completely went because it's got a crack down it. We can just about see, but that's zebrano or zebra wood, and wow, I mean, just wow to the grain. So that's going to end up being a bit of a skull, not because it's terrible to carve. It's a bit splintery. It works. But that's a different. My hands is on the mend, and I go back to the Orpea Doctor 14th August, and hope after that we'll be able to carving it. Looking forward to you carving, Corey. Hope the hand gets better real quick. Remember to brace it. Use palm tools is probably a good help for people with arthritis and problems. G'day, Jason. Oh, you're more than welcome. These live streams are particularly grueling. I get to show that I can talk for an hour without pause, but I do pause because I'm a horrible, yucky, foul smoker. Where do I post my answers to the questions for the contest? On the file, the beginner's woodcarver file, BWC and Beavercraft, there's a file that has a link. If you click on the cover poster with all the green writing on it saying the competition, if you click on that, it will, in the comments, well, in the description of that one, it has the link. If you look on the pinned post, the announcement, that leads you to the link to the file. There are many ways to find that, and if you have any problems, give a hoy to one of the moderators. They'll help. I've got a few here, so probably one of them will contact you. Look in your private messages box and somebody will post you the link, I'm sure. Whoever, you'll probably end up with 8 links. I don't know, do 8 moderators watch me go blah, blah, blah? They get so fed up of me talking. I get so fed up of me talking too, don't worry. Now, so yes, we're going to add some more challenges. I'm going to be doing that. Some of you guys put up pictures that I just go, oh, that's so right for the challenge. So I'm now going to be asking on the feed that I need pictures for a certain challenge, and if you could post them on the feed, I will pick them up and slap them into the file or that album that will be used for challenges. We'll get there slowly. I need a couple of fish. That's going to be one of them. The challenges are starting to work. Oh, you have a good day, Ness. Look after them moo cows for us, please. I look forward to hearing. I look forward to the trip down to the wood shop. We're going to combine forces and go there and bomb them out. That'll be fun. I've got my list of the woods that I actually have at the moment. I am going to be taking that when I go to the wood shop, and I will be complementing it with the ones I don't have now. Yes, fish will be one. Some of the challenges will cover things like air, land and sea. The air, land and sea aspects are feathers, for the birds, all birds. So air is covered, land, fur. So animals with fur, that way you get to practice doing fur with the beetles or with the knife. That covers fur. Well, we've got sea, so snakes, scales, fish scales are different from snake scales. We'll have, oh bloody hell, Terry made it. G'day, Terry. So we'll have things that will have like scales, feathers, fur, because they're all, once you can do fur for one animal, you can basically do fur for the other. I defer for that. More than one way to defer a fur, like fur line, feline. So yeah, that'll cover those. But we also like fish. A lot of people actually like carving fish, and we see some really wicked fish. I could name a couple of people, but I won't. So we'll have a fish album. We'll have chips album. Yeah, Eddie's the scale man. They'll probably see a few of his photos there. And not only that, Eddie is probably the man to explain how to carve them, how to pyro them, all the rest of that. Oh, dragon scales, of course. The snake of snakes. So yeah, we'll be going through and covering a few that there's shapes, geometric shapes, Euclid solids, that'll be covered. My daughter Blaze put a wonderful chart for me together where she listed basically all of the different types of areas that a woodcarver would carve. We will be doing like planes. Can you do a cube? And I said, well, a cube, like all that is you use a saw and you end up with a cube. But I saw somebody say, carve a ball, and then from a ball carve a cube, and then from the cube carve another ball until you end up with a pile of chips and a lot of experience. Doesn't matter. Take photos as you go. End up with a pile of chips. And you have learned squares and circles, you've learned curves, you've learned grain. With scales, you have the same sort of thing where you're learning how to undercut the scale to make it look prominent and how to do that. Eddie is the man. Eddie does more scales than everybody else put together. Love his scales, love it. I've got a couple of snakes. What do you do? Let me just get them for you. Oh, where are my snakes? So, yes, I've done snakes. See, here's one. No scales. I chose a green tree snake so that you can see the scales. These were really just, can I do them in model form? And that was the first thing I ever used my pyro thing on, and I made an absolute pig's ear of it. But carving that out of a block and ending up with a ball, a snake on a pole, that was to see whether or not I could do a walking stick, which I now know I can. It's just about scale. Got to go up in scale and do a bigger one. But had a couple of goes at that because it was an interesting task. But yeah, is it cold there, mate? What makes you think that? Shirt, right. Yes, it's cold here. For me, it's cold. Oh, look. From you, thank you so much. They were practices, models. What we do a lot of the time is we can do all of the things that we do small are models for something that could be made big. It's only a matter of scaling it up, and if you use calipers and those sorts of things, it's pretty easy to scale. So, so now Pete's reminded me how cold it is. When you guys go, the hat will come off and up will go me hoodie. There we go, garden gnome style. Oh, dear me, I've got the hat on now. Oh, no. There you go, Aussie hat. Yes, it is winter here in Australia, and although it's we don't have snow and we have very little ice. I think it got down to 4 degrees. Whoa, a whole warm 4 degrees, Canada says. It was 4 degrees, but after we go through 40 plus days, 4 degrees is absolutely frigging freezing. Yeah, 108 degrees in Texas. Yeah, We get summers are like that, so when it goes down to 4 degrees, it's bloody cold for us. Relative, it's relative. If I used to live in the UK, and I used to ride a motorbike in winter. Duh. I had frostbite. I lost layers and layers and layers off my thumb once. -5, more than 100 miles an hour on my motorbike, made it like -30. Thanks, Corey. Made it like -30, and calling the gnome. I haven't got a gnome to go to. Don't get me started. I haven't got a level, so I can't be level-headed today. Sorry. Yeah, like so it's relative. So at the moment, I feel like if I was brass, all you'd hear is clang. Well, aren't you the lucky one, Terry? Swatting mosquitoes. Oh, we're still swatting mosquitoes. Mosquitoes go, it's cold, but that guy over there is nice and warm. I like sitting around my daughter because they go, oh, I don't like the smell of his blood. I like hers better. So they go for her rather than me. Oh, look at that. 32 people watching at the moment. I think that's the highest. 33 people now. That's the highest amount we've ever had in watching at any one time. Oh, and there go 2 of them. What a shame. These lives. I intend to do these on every Friday night. If not me, somebody else will cover this. I guess they'll come into a little bit of tutorial, but really it's just a kind of bit of roundup of what's happened for the week. Get your entries into the challenge, into the competition. Make sure that you make the moderators work their asses off. Get those entries in. 3 people are going to win, with the 3rd prize being added. Thank wifey for watching. Yes, they love my sweet meatloaf. Yeah, okay then. Yes. What is it? You're 6'4". Big target. What was it my mum used to say? My mum used to say, how tall are you, Colin? Cole. Better. How tall are you, Cole? And I'd say 6'2", and she'd say, I didn't know they stack shit that high. Thanks, Mum. Okay, Brian, well done working on your feather. Remember to upload your picture to the thing. We had a bit of a discussion about how hard it is when you're using iPads to actually access uploading your pictures into the albums. Now, adding them into the comments isn't adding them into the folders. It's just adding them into the comments, and that's not quite what we want. We want, and if you're new and you're beginning, then we want your photos in there as well, because your photos inspire other new people to add theirs. And one of the hardest things in the group is actually getting new people to step forward, because we've got so many carvers that we're all new to an aspect of carving. I've done what I've done behind me, but I still consider myself a new carver. I've only been using knives less than a year, and gouges, and I'm slowly collecting what you can see behind the Tin Man. I get tools 1 at a time or 2 at a time. I get to use them, I get to practice with them, I get to see how well that tool works, and then I get new tools and I know what tools to use, rather than getting a big batch of tools and going, okay, I've got 20 chisels here, which chisel do I use? And I'm getting them slowly by one for me is, I prefer it that way than getting a big container, but each to their own. I can't afford a $1,500 set of files. It would be nice if one day we could potentially have something like that as a prize in the competition, but we're building up to it. Our first competition ever, it's going well. Beavercraft keep coming to us and saying, we'll add another prize, let's add another prize. Remember that not everybody can win, and for their sake, the only advertising that they will do in here is through me, and yes, trial and error. This is does it work? Do we like it? Does everybody like getting involved? And hopefully, as we progress with the numbers in the group, as we get to 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, we'll have more and more weight where the knife reps are concerned, where the only way that they can advertise is by funding a competition, if you like. Yeah, I'm bludging, I'm begging them to do this. Not I wouldn't, I don't mind doing the knife reviews, but it's not absolutely critical. I don't necessarily want to win a set for doing this, but I do. The mods and the admins are out. We can't actually, which is pretty tough on the mods, really, moderators, because they can't enter the competitions. Poor us. Oh, well done. Well done. Honestly, I bought. Did you use the codes? Did you get the 5% or the 10% discount? Is the main one. The Beavercraft knives now. They're certainly not the best on the market. Make sure when you store them that you oil the blades up, because the steel content in them is great enough that they have got a potential. Yeah, mods and rockers, mods and chippers. They do have a slight potential for rusting, so you have to make sure that you coat them up, wrap the blades in a oiled, a slightly oily rag. Make sure that you give them a coat of oil before you store them. After sharpening them, when you finish with them, run them on the compound and on the leather. You have to give them a bit of a strop, and then put a little bit of oh, okay. I'll talk to them about that. Yeah, run them on the strop, have them nice and sharp for the next time you use them, but oil them up so that no way do they rust. Nice to see you here, Terry. Windell's here, g'day. No worries. Good to see you all. Now, I'm 3 minutes and 20 seconds away from my favourite part of the lives, the end. It's hard to sit here for an hour just and waffle off about wood and stuff, but fortunately I've got a week's worth of looking at the files, looking at the feed, seeing what people are doing, watching the trends. I love this group. I don't like it, I love it. I get up, I come here, I sit with a cup of tea, and I watch what's happened in the American day. Do this. It's if they rust, then a little bit of wire wool will do it, or polish them with a compound, and on the strop you can strop the rust spots off. It's the easiest way, or you can use something like 1000 grit WD-40. Yeah, something like. Stop watching the clock. I can't help it. It's next to 28 eyes. You, Brett, are a hard taskmaster. Part of the reason why I do these lives is because Brett said to me, "Where's the live? Come on, we want a live." Although I can't do his accent. Have to practice. Good night, David. Close to 10 o'clock. So we've pretty much done the Friday night lives. You're welcome, Mandy. Happy Saturday. Yes, I've got the rest of the afternoon. I will be sitting here and I'll be writing up files on wood. Keep building up I'm doing it in Evernote, so it's not actually a file until I slap it up there. But it's going to be slapped on there pretty soon now. My glove says goodbye because a minute and a half. Okay, sandpaper is correct too. Yeah. I could, like the wet and dry, the 1000 grit will take the rust off and return your blade to nice and shiny. Using it a lot stops the rust. Oh, you're welcome. Look, the group itself is the entity. We're becoming an entity. It's BWC entity, where we're bigger than a good. We're bigger than a group. We're more than a group. We're actually a place where people find purpose. And for me, I live here. I'm talking to the mods, and they live here too. BWC forever. You have a bloody good time. I've got 51 seconds, 50 seconds, ticking away, ticking away. Nay's just joined us just for me to leave. Nice to see you, Nay. Have a great night, everyone. Thanks for the live streams, Carl. You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. I look forward all week. I fret and like second one. I worry about these and I think, what am I going to say? What am I going to talk about? I don't know what to do, and I walked the dog just prior to this, and And I come in and I had a shave, and it's like, okay, well, we'll talk about, and here we are, an hour later. We are family. That's dead right, Fred. Fred Hero said, we are family. We are family. All good, all good. So anything that you need, I'm going to go over. Anything you need, let us know. If you need any information, the feed's the place to ask. You can PM us, but if you do it on the feed, then it helps everybody else. I'm going to say safe and happy calvings to you for another week. And if I can get my mouse working, I shall now say I'll see you on the feed. Thanks for coming and visiting.